Well, I suppose I better call this a generalized letter to anybody and everybody at this point over here, because I got some things that's still crawling around inside of me that needs to be said. It's 10:16 at night, Sunday the 12th of May, 2024. We're John City, Roseman, California. All right. Watching a lot of sci-fi shows, movies, reading books, you think one would get an idea of what the authors were trying to tell us, all these creators. And yet, we keep missing the fact because politics keeps emulating the same fiction that we keep showing everybody else, but I don't think anybody else gets it. Until sometimes when you happen to look at the connection after the event's over, then you'll say, why didn't I catch that? Maybe we didn't even see that or say it. Watching Battlestar Galactica, the reimagined series of it, the reboot of it. In the story, much like the original, aliens called Cylons invaded 12 colonies of humanity, blasted them to hell, and the survivors had to leave to find a lost colony out there in the universe to repopulate and rebuild. In the original series back in the 70s, late 70s, 78, 79, they had the movie out, and they were showing this fantastic view of alien life and combat and survival for humanity. But not once did you see in the original series about humanity or any of the things that we would consider human in behavior, thought patterns, actions, feelings in the alien race that was trying to kill them, called Cylons. Metallic creatures with. Did they have a brain in there? Or just a lot of programming? Probably a lot of programming. In the fictionalized books, they would say that they had a maybe one, two, or three brain. Three brain would be the Cylon leader. Something installed. Two brains, well, you have lower leaders, lower mechanized life forms. Looked like they had a pointy head on there with the lights going all over the place and got the eyes going. And then you got the Cylons themselves, the warriors. Silver for the regular ground troops and gold for the honored guard or for something else. But they would act independent and also part of a unit, but not necessarily all in order. They would have to have a consensus. And their mission was to wipe out the human race. It was never known why. Maybe somehow in the recreated versions of it back in the 70s and 80s when they were writing the books about it, they were trying to identify this situation here. But I never quite understood why the Cylons wanted to kill mankind like crazy. They weren't creations of man. Well, this time, in the 2007 through 2000, what was it? You know, somewhere between 2006 and 2012, somewhere in that area, we had a four-season series of re-engineered. The Cylons are supposed to have been the creation of human beings. Centuries later, they evolved into something else and then came back to destroy mankind. As a way of thanking them for their existence, we're going to destroy you. Even though probably in the first wave after they made these artificial intelligence out there, they were going to, what, actually not 300, maybe 100 years, coming back to destroy humanity because they're afraid that humanity is going to go out there searching for them and killing them. So they had these ships out there, Battlestars that would protect the colonies, and they got wiped out by a whole bunch of the children of humanity. And in this series, they're struggling with the humans, at least for about a couple of seasons, struggling with the robots or skin jobs or whatever the hell they would call them, metal toasters. And humanity was supposed to be, you were supposed to feel sorry for the humanities because they got their asses kicked. They had about less than 49,000 left of humanity over billions in the planets, left to a mere handful surviving on these ships that just trying to survive. But then you start to get to know some of the characters in there that are going to be introduced more and more into the short season. And you start to feel for those kind of characters who are the skin jobs, who are showing some kind of humanity a little bit, or are they still hell bent on trying to destroy everybody? But then they start showing something about human attributes, a belief in some kind of deity or theology. Much like the humans kept praying and believing in that one, believing that the Cylons didn't have that capability because they only thought of them as recreations of humanity. For the most part, the Cylons were the mechanisms. Granted, re-engineered from the bulky, clunky ones, but even so, they would have some kind of independent thought, but not much. The skin jobs would be the evolved ones. But here's the thing that was getting to me at this point over here. Watching this in the series, trying to see if there was any human elements into the Cylons, and lo and behold, there were. Besides trying to be self-destructive, some of them actually, maybe a few of them actually started caring a bit. And there were quote-unquote Cylons among humans that they didn't realize. Probably as spies, or probably as people not realizing that they are sleeper agents. So in this, we're still supposed to feel the hostility and anger at these beings because they're so evil. When the writers start talking about humanity one way or another, we have to use foils, we have to use devices necessary for we to identify the theoretical good guys and the theoretical bad guys. But when you have the lines blur because the actions they've taken are similar to each other, you don't know who the guy is that you want to believe in and root for. They call that effective writing. But the problem is, it's also terrifying as hell because we use the same damn logic as we have right now as it is. We're looking for the bad guy to shoot at so we can declare ourselves the winner and the victor. To build up our own damn ego, to build up our own damn street cred. Well, we don't know if the other guy is actually legitimate, a good guy or not. Where's the definition of good and bad in these kind of situations? And I'm going to refer this over to the political side of life because we're dealing with that on a constant basis. Middle East is one of them. Israel's definitely it. Are they good? Are they bad? Hamas we know is bad because they killed, they raped, we're told, and they kidnapped. And very few people came out of it. So an entire race of people living in the Gaza Strip have to be genocided, if I can use the word. Because we don't know if they're siding with the Hamas, and we don't know anything about them. But we do know that they were the same originators for the land that Israel was created out of. And if, I know, arguments being, if they actually had a two-state solution, we wouldn't be in this situation, right? But we are in that situation. We are seeing the genocides. We actually seen the genocides happening in our lifetimes and also recorded in our human history. So naturally, we have to have the fictional foils, the fictional stories of what happened. Good ending or bad ending, or maybe something more terrifying than that, a stalemate. When I'm watching the Battlestar Galactica re-engineering, and it's scaring and pissing me off because I'm seeing too many damn similarities we're seeing today, now. Protesters are screaming and yelling to stop this damn slaughter of Israel doing to the Palestinian people. We didn't say anything to Hamas. We said to the Palestinian people. I mean, after Gaza's leveled, then what is Israel going to do? Go after West Bank? We kept trying to tell these people to knock it up, but no. We have an administration who's stuck on stupid right now. They want to negotiate while leveling everybody else. This is now negotiated with us because we're the victors. If it makes you feel like I'm supporting Palestine for this one, I'm trying to support both both countries, if I want to call them countries, but I guess one country is being wiped out. I'm seeing this in a fictional state that I'm barely stomaching right now, and I thought I was having a hard time a long time ago watching this thing because it was so damn dark and heavy. I couldn't tell who the good guy and bad guy was anymore. Self-destructive, narcissistic, egotistical people on both sides. I said people. I should have said creations. One side would probably say they're recreations, they're machines. They don't think like us, and therefore I'm going to annihilate their whole race. In one particular episode, they're using one form of genocide. They're going to be using a disease to wipe out the entire race, and therefore they think they're going to be safe after that. In the process, they have actually had representatives working for the humans, swearing fealty to them, by realizing that they're going to be wiping out an entire human race. So here comes the more conflict about it. Mama, come here. Come here. You're all right. She's unsettled. Unsettled because I'm not in there. But this is the thing I'm dealing with right now. Here's my reality check right now. Oh, you're all right. You're all right. Yeah, you are. You're okay. You're okay, sweetheart. I think I forget my glasses. I worry about her and her survival. I know she's got a limited lifespan, other than mine, which I still have more limited, but, I'm not going to say that to anybody. But she matters a great deal to me. A great deal to me. But here I am watching a series of self-destruction, mutilation, genocide. How the hell am I supposed to be able to deal with that one if I can't even deal with what's going on? Am I dealing with the fictional stories? I'm dealing with fictional series. I'm dealing with fiction. But in reality, we're doing the same damn thing. Different characters, but we're doing the same theme. Wiping out people or wiping out beings and creations. For what? Every time you read a book, every time you see a movie, every time you see something of a creative motif, of a theme that's in front of you, are you going to be accepting it just as a creative thing, or are you going to be looking at the meaning of it, tearing it apart, understanding it, evaluating, critiquing it, analyzing it to make sure that what you're seeing right now means a great deal? And if you're not seeing it, then you're missing out on everything. It could be just as simple as a haiku poem, or something deeper as a sonnet. But maybe somewhere in there, the words are chosen carefully. Maybe the words are chosen very carefully. Maybe for some people it's just a flight of fancy, but somewhere in the subconscious, the words are being chosen carefully because there's a message coming through. We're not seeing it, we're not reading it, we're blind to it, we're deaf to it, we're mute to it. Guess what? The message doesn't mean a damn thing unless it repeats itself. And then we keep seeing the consequences afterwards. Yeah, we're real great human beings, aren't we? No wonder I can't even root for the humans in this show. I'm rooting more for the damn Cylons than I am for the humanity. And that's a terrifying thought to think about, I'll tell you.